Hello and welcome, beautiful family, to the Free to Be podcast. This is where we are free to be our entire full spectrum selves, so all of you is welcome here. I'm your host, Annalene. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Let's dive in. If you're watching this via video, I just ask that you don't mind my background, as this is what it looks like to be a single parent, co-parent during the Christmas season, and it's beautifully beautiful and okay. But that's just a little disclaimer. I'm very excited for this episode as we are embarking on a journey together and a series through the Tao Te Ching. I hope that's how you actually pronounce it. They're like T's. And I'm like, is it the Tao Te Ching? Is it the Tao Te Ching? I know it's the Tao. However, I don't know if the T is also with a D, and that's okay. Language can often be a barrier. However, this is what we're working with, and this is the message that I received to dive into with and share with my audience. And so I hope that this is inspiring to you and supportive on your journey. We're going to start at the very beginning. To give some context, the Tao Te Ching is a small book with enormous depth. It's not necessarily meant to be mastered or explained. It's meant to be lived. It's an ancient text from China written over 2,000 years ago during a time of social and political unrest. It's traditionally attributed to a sage named Laozi, Laozi. But it could have emerged from a wider lineage of wisdom keepers rather than a single author. The book itself is made up of 81 short verses, and they're reflections that are ways to live in harmony with life. So the core idea of the Tao, which means the way, is the natural flow that moves through all things. So it's kind of pointing us in how to be and how to commune. And in each episode, we're going to go through one verse at a time. And I'm not approaching this as any sort of scholar or expert. I'm meeting it as a woman, as a mother, as an artist, as a human here now in this modern world and day and age who is curious and open and also listening to the direction of my soul's calling. So again, with the nature of Free to Be, there's really nothing to accomplish here or figure out or get right or do. We're just meeting life right here now as it is and in the present. And this is also a beautiful invitation of contemplation. So I'll be contemplating in here in real time with you. The Tao is something that I've listened to on Audible all the way through a while ago. And today in my meditation, it just came up very clearly to dive into it again and to share it on my podcast, or on this podcast. And so I've also been very fascinated with the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd, and a lot of that wisdom also comes from the I Ching. And there's something really beautiful in a lot of his work, in the Gene Keys work, is this idea of contemplation, which is expansive and requires you and your presence, and you do get to think about it and you do get to ponder it. It's not just like a silent meditation where you're trying to eliminate your thoughts. This is something that we get to explore And yeah, in true free to be fashion, we're free to be here now and do that. So I'm very excited and curious about what will come through and wants to be shared. So without further ado, we'll get into the first verse and the first line. And that reads, and I'm coming from the Stephen Mitchell New England English version. If you want to, I listen to it on Audible if you want that as a resource. Okay, so the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. Okay, so let's just take a deep breath together. And just settle into this moment, this present moment in our hearts and our bodies. And I'm going to read that first line again. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. What this brings forth for me, that follows with the second line, the name that cannot be named is not the eternal name. For me, it's revealing that what is eternal, what is perhaps God, one could say, the divine, cannot actually be named. And the true essence of it cannot be pinpointed or explained through language, which within itself is already limiting, and it is something that is beyond. Something that is beyond what language or words can explain or express, something that is beyond what we as humans know and are familiar with living in this world. Even the word eternal can be a pretty lofty term and concept to contemplate. And yet I tend to this contemplation and understanding and belief that the soul is eternal. Whether it's the soul or the spirit that we are all intrinsically connected to me, that feels and is eternal. And even the words spirit and soul, they're two different words. However, for me personally, it's been a whole life contemplation and curiosity of discerning what they really mean and what the heck is the difference. And so, because we're here together now, I'm going to check with Google if they can give me a quick definition of the two. What is, or what does the word soul mean? And what does the word spirit mean? And I really pray and trust, and this is part of my intention, that this podcast episode and this series and what is the conversation that is expressed and opened and had here in this space and time and field is that it really truly serves you in the way that it's exactly meant to, that it truly lights up something within you that is only for you. That's so divine and perfectly perfect for you and your journey and your life. I pray that you receive exactly what you need and that it's soul food. And so I just ask that you take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Okay. So what does soul mean? Soul comes from ancient roots meaning breath, life, and animating essence. Across different traditions, it refers to your individual essence, the felt sense of you, your emotional, relational, and meaning-making self, the part of you that remembers, longs, loves, and carries story. So you could say the soul is how life experiences itself as you. It's personal, has texture, memory, desire, and uniqueness. Beautiful. Taking a deep breath here and letting it go. And the word spirit, what does spirit mean? Well, spirit also comes from a word meaning breath or wind, but it points in a different direction. Across traditions, spirit refers to the universal life force, the animating intelligence behind everything, consciousness itself, the field we all arise from and return to. So you could say spirit is life itself moving through all things. This is beautiful. This is kind of how I've seen it. Like spirit, the Holy Spirit is omnipresent, all of it, everything, God, source, life, love. And then soul is like we each have a soul and we each are connected. And like I feel like they go hand in hand. And when you break it down like that, they both come from the word breath, which is life force energy, which is your prana, which is everything. Speaking of breath. Let's take another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. They are intrinsically connected. They go hand in hand. And yet, it does feel true that like soul is personal and spirit is universal. And I've often loved the saying that you are life or the universe or God experiencing itself. So through us, through our souls, we get to experience life and God gets to experience life through us, through our souls, which are not separate from spirit. Because when I think of spirit, there is no separation. When I think of God, purity, love, there is no separation. Separation to me came from the fall, in quotation marks, or it can come from like identifying with the ego or the separate self, the part of us that has forgotten the true nature of where we come from, which is the one. And in order to experience the one, we had to separate, in quotation marks. And yet we're not actually separate from or different from. It's just another iteration or animation experiencing. So when we identify with just our separate self rather than the whole, that's when some friction can happen. But it's okay because it's all part of the beautiful experience. But when we lean into and remember, and can even identify with being the one who notices it all, or with God, with the universe, inviting that more and more into our daily lives, I feel like the closer and closer we merge with spirit and our higher selves. And so I'm so curious and fascinated by what this brings up for you and how you interpret it and experience it all. And so please let me know in the comments or send me a DM what beams of light are lighting up for you, what contemplations, what revelations, what wisdom feels like is moving through you. And it's also no wonder why and how powerful the breath truly is. Yes, so passionate about it. Okay, so let's continue. The unnameable is the eternally real. I love this because as soon as you try to name it, it's like it's already almost limited in its unlimited essence. And so the writing, the unnameable is the eternally real, to me feels resonant. It feels deep. It feels profound. Feels like I can sink into that and be still and at peace with that, knowing that that also too is within me. Naming is the origin of all particular things. So anything that's particular that we can name, that we can identify, that we like to use to make sense of the world, beautiful, still a part of God or spirit or maybe the Tao, but not the whole thing, or not in its most refined and pure form. Ideas. Okay, continuing on. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. You know, I've heard this in a lot of different spiritual teachings, that it's actually like a spiritual idea to not have desire. And then there are things within myself that arise. There have been moments in my life where I have accepted that, where I have explored that, and there are moments when I have rebelled against it. And even earlier today, I was listening to Alan Watts. No, actually, this was yesterday morning. And he brought forth the idea, pardon me for a moment while I take a sip of water. He brought forth the idea that what if actually the desires that you feel in your heart, the desires of your soul, of your being, aren't actually innately bad or wrong or deserving of guilt or shame, but they're actually the thing that is leading you most to where your soul longs to go, and is actually the thing that is going to bring forth the most reward. Which to me, I loved this invitation and I love this perspective, because it gives me permission to want what I want and like what I like and go for what I want to go for. And then I come and I read the Tao and I'm like, okay, free from desire, you realize the mystery. Ooh. But wait, I love the mystery. I just want to be enmeshed in the mystery. And growing up Catholic, I was like essentially taught to strive for the mystery and desire the mystery and understanding of the mystery and uncovering and unveiling of the mystery, because the mystery equals the divine, equals God. God is a mystery. This is beautiful. I also love the concept both and. Posted all about that yesterday on my Instagram if you feel like checking that out. But yeah, free from desire, you realize the mystery. So when I actually don't need anything, when I don't desire, I can, sorry for that, realize the mystery. Now, I need to look up the word realize, because words are particular and powerful. And earlier in the Tao it says naming is the origin of all particular things. So this is me getting caught up in the particular. And that's okay. Okay, so realize could be to understand something, to become aware, to see clearly, or to make something real. That's like a deeper meaning. Because from Latin, realis is real, realize means to bring into reality, to embody. So free from desire, you realize the mystery. The mystery has no desire. The mystery, God, source, the divine, doesn't desire anything. Because it is wholeness unto itself. It is the Holy Spirit. Whoa, my goddess. I mean, I love this. I love this so much. Another deep breath in. And exhale, release. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. You make something real, the mystery. You don't just understand it, you make something real. You bring into reality, you embody the mystery. That is so profound and beautiful. And the next sentence in the line goes, caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. And so, okay, this is also beautiful. This is not a bad thing. There's not a judgmental thing happening here. But going back to the Alan Watts idea, I mean, he was inviting and trying to get the listeners and people hearing him to live a better life, to live a life that is in alignment with what they want, which is manifesting, which is creating the life that they desire. So, caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. He was trying to empower us to manifest a better life, one with more joy or prosperity or love, whatever it might be. Again, it's really beautiful and important to look at not like right or wrong, but staying at a pretty neutral, I believe, standpoint when contemplating. And going back to the gene keys, the three important and musts when contemplating is allowing, accepting, and embracing. That is how we go from the shadow to the gift to the seedy. And if you don't know too much about the gene keys, please, if it is inspiring you, go look it up. And maybe we'll dive more into that later here. Yeah, really powerful work. Okay, yes. Moving forward. Yet, mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This is incredible. This is beautiful. Again, it's not saying good or bad or right or wrong or hierarchy or this or that. It's like it's just expressing, living these words. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet, mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. Beautiful. So we're looking at the word mystery and we're looking at the word manifestations. Let's look up manifestations. Because earlier we kind of broke down mystery as the divine. But what does the divine do? I mean, what does God, the creator, still if it were to do something? Perhaps create? And what's the act of creating? Let's see. Okay, so when you look up the meaning of manifestation, it says it comes from Latin manifestere, meaning to make visible, to bring into the open. At its core, manifestation is the invisible becoming visible. So, spirit becoming made manifest, real, tangible, here. As an example, manifestation can be a physical body, a tree, emotional, creative, circumstantial. Manifestation is the Tao taking shape. Interesting. Okay, continuing the mystery. Let's take another deep breath. Mystery comes from the Greek mysterion. Okay. I just had a note come up in my mind, so noting. That which is initiated into, or that which cannot be fully spoken. At its core, mystery is what gives rise to everything, yet remains unknowable. It's not a puzzle to solve, it's a depth to enter. Mystery is the source behind all forms. To me, it's like the form is the manifestation, right? What is manifested, and the mystery is, well, the source behind all forms. Okay, we love this. And I love life so much because different moments allow us to remember. I feel like all of this is a remembering, an awakening. Like it's all here already within us, whether we've studied it before, or we haven't, or we've experienced something before, or we haven't. Here now, here now, here now, here now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. So what is manifested, made into form? And the mystery itself, that which cannot be fully spoken and gives rise to everything, yet remains unknowable, arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. Darkness definition. I mean, in its most literal, it's the absence of light. See, to me, so light, and what my understanding thus far in life, light or consciousness, what is known, what is seen, the sun, and then darkness, the absence of light, what cannot yet be seen clearly. It's fascinating to me because I've seen the sun as like Yeshua, or as like masculine in nature, or like the grandfather. And then I've heard of darkness. It's almost like, to me, the cosmic womb. Like in the womb, it's dark, and or the void, or darkness. I've heard of the dark feminine and dark feminine concepts. I don't know if anybody's come up to me and has been like, about the dark masculine. Just personally here. And in yin and yang, the masculine and the feminine, in this beautiful symbol. Yin and yang, the light and the dark. Okay. So I just had to do a little quick search on yin and yang as well. Okay. They are complementary forces that describe how life moves. Neither is better, neither exists without the other. Yin is receptive, inward, still, cool, dark, subtle, nourishing, holding, cyclical. Associated with darkness, the moon, night, earth, water, feminine principle. Yang. Yang is active, outward, moving, warm, bright, expressive, initiating, directional. Associated with light, sun, day, sky, fire, masculine principle. We are both and. We are all of it. We all have the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us. And when you look at the literal anatomy of a masculine man and a feminine woman, the female is open, circular. The masculine is penetrative. It enters. Those correlate directly. And this isn't really necessarily new information, but it's beautiful and important. Repetition is one of the most important things we need, truly, in life. And it's beautiful to continue and deepen the contemplation. We are both, have both within us, and we may literally be born a woman or a man, or identify as one or the other or something else. I don't know. These days, anything's possible. And in these really traditional and kind of ancient offerings, you can continue to see the weaving in the web of the wisdom flowing to remind us and awaken us and bring us back to what is already innately true within us. And then it's like an invitation to work with these things. So free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only manifestations. Yet mystery manifestations arise from the same source. So what comes from the source? Well, the source's name is darkness. The source is called darkness, the feminine. What comes from the feminine? We give birth. The female, woman, give birth. So it could even be the subconscious birthing the conscious. It could be literal, a woman giving birth to man. It could be, what was once unseen is then seen, or what was once interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, I am receiving and grateful. Feels confirming. And then take another deep breath in here and out. Darkness is not bad. It is the condition that allows life to form. You need both. You cannot have one without the other. You cannot have one without the other. You cannot have one without the other. We need to love one another and get along, and this will directly show up probably first and foremost in our relationships. This is where the invitation to love is at its highest, most practical, most tangible, most with yourself first and foremost, the relationship you have with yourself. How can you look at the light and the dark within you? How can you tend to and love and trust yourself? Trust the universe, God, life, love, the different energies in your life. And I don't agree with every single thing that is in the Bible, but something that I do love about the Bible, and I love Jesus, I love Yeshua. I mean, he expressed and told us many a times, do not be afraid. What has happened with the patriarchy and shit over time, which I'm no expert on and I'm not going to get into, but please feel free to comment and talk about it. This is free to be, you're welcome to express if this is like your niche or what you're passionate about, please do. I kind of lost my train of thought, but we need both is the main message, and that we are both, and that love is the only thing that exists and is the only thing that's really real. And it's the only invitation. Love, deeper understanding, deeper wisdom. It's also been like wisdom has been identified in some teachings as she or female in nature. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm feeling a halt. I'm feeling a pause. I think I'm going to pause here. I want us to sit and digest and process this beautiful information, this conversation, and go into our own inner contemplation. Go into our own inner contemplation. This is free to be, and I'm reading here. It's like a feminine yin concept is being. The masculine would be doing, which I just like so love because I'm like, yeah, free to be, baby. Like, I just want to be. My being alone is, always was, always will be more than enough. And for any of this movement to go anywhere, what do I have to do? Even that word already just came out. I have to do something, take action. Feminine is receptive, masculine is initiative. Feminine is presence, masculine is direction. Feminine is holding, masculine is penetrating. We love this. We love this. Where can we play with these energies, archetypes, and words and concepts in a really loving, accepting, allowing, and embracing way? With yourself, with your partner, with your family, with your friends, whoever, wherever. How can we get more curious? How can we create more understanding and appreciation that it just, I mean, it already is. It already is, babes. It already is. Please take one more deep belly breath with me, in through the nose, holding at the top, and out through the mouth. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love you so much. That was episode 1 of the Tao Te Ching series. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. I love you so much. Please let me know what arose for you, what has come up. I so trust this. This idea came through for me in meditation, so I feel really grateful for that. It's also an intention that I have to sit down every day. And, you know, we all go through seasons and cycles, and not every single day is the same, and we're not always going to be called forth to do the same thing. However, even just like 7 minutes a day truly is so supportive and nourishing, and we can do it. I'm inviting you into it. So I love you so much. Thank you again for being here, and I will see you in the next episode. Happy holidays. If you're listening to this, it's timeless, of course, but if you're listening to this like when I'm literally talking now, oh my gosh, there's the concept now. God bless. I love you. I love you so much.